Okay, I was just doing a little sports, so I didn't even change for this live call. But I guess you get what you pay for. Free call. You get this is my free outfit and free hair. But I wanted to talk again. I was talking about this yesterday. How to grow beyond 6 and 7 figures business. So again, this call is for those of you who are a little more advanced. Maybe you already have a business launched, but you're stuck. Most businesses get stuck between about $40,000 and $140,000. That's the range. Most businesses never go beyond that. So if you're a beginner, you can still listen in because you need to know this stuff anyway. But I just want to talk about scaling your business because I remember when I was going, at one point in my life, I was like, I wonder if I will be able to make, $1 million a year. I remember I was making like a couple $100,000, $200,000-300,000 a year. And I was like, I wonder if it's possible to hit $1 million, because nobody in my family had really ever hit 100,000. So to go to $1 million was like this huge jump. And all of a sudden you hit $1 million. And then I remember I was making about between $100,000 and $400,000 a week. So I was making, roughly, a month, between 1 to 4. I remember this is probably a little over 10 years ago. I made my business did like 4.2 or 4.5 million dollars. And then I remember being like, I wonder if it can scale to 10 million. And then, now I know how to build, I've been able to build businesses that get to 8-figure pace in like a week, And so I guess one thing, just to encourage you, when stuff seems hard, it's just hard for you in the phase you're in now. Everything that you think is hard now will eventually become easy, or a lot of stuff. Some stuff stays hard. By the way, do you have a glasses cleaner? Yeah. So let me just walk through, give you 3 real practical things that you need to do if you want to scale your business. All right, so number 1, you have to increase who you know. The old cliche, here's you in the center. If you take the income of the 5 people you spend the most time with, you average it out, that's probably around your income. So if you're, got a friend making 50K or 0, 100, 380, if you add that up, what do we got? 130, 230, let's say roughly 500 divided by 5, that's 100,000 average. That's probably about what your income is. And some people could argue, is it causative or correlated? But let's just put it this way. It's hard to prove causation scientifically, but what we can say is it just makes sense. It's kind of common sense. When I was making 100 grand, I was hanging out with a few people that made 300 grand, and a lot of people who made less than me, and therefore it was hard for me to change my, hard to scale on my business, because we're all constrained by the mind. The mind constrains everything. I was listening to a talk. There's this psychologist who at Yale who was speaking on a famous case. There was a guy about 100 years ago, I think, named Phineas. I forget his last name. Not Phineas Fogg. What's Phineas Fogg from? That's from anyway, forget that. There was a real guy named Phineas. He was in a construction accident. A pipe went through the middle of his head, or part of his head. Like literally, there was like blood and brains everywhere. But miraculously, the guy was fine. He didn't die. And on the way to the hospital, he stopped and had a drink at a pub. So the dude was feeling okay. He had this pipe in his head, and he lost some gray matter in a certain part of his head. And what ended up happening is he was perfectly normal, except he lost the ability. He lost his moral compass, they said. So basically, before he was like a good husband. After that happened, he was always cheating on his wife. Before, he was never swear, was a religious, person. Afterwards, he lost his, he would swear like every 10th word. So basically, there's parts of our brain that control things like morality, And if you get them hit with a pipe, you're going to lose your morality. A lot of people think morality is in your heart. Your heart pumps blood, you know. Your brain controls everything. Worldview, depression, fearfulness, courage. You need courage to scale a business because you got to do stuff you haven't done before. That's kind of what courage, that's the reason courage exists. Courage is a measurement of the ability to do stuff that you don't know for sure the outcome. You know, somebody has courage jumping out of an airplane with a parachute because they don't know the outcome. So when it comes to mindset, this is what I was going to say. Who you know, you absorb mindsets. So a little baby, you don't put a baby in a classroom to teach it how to think. No. What do you do with a baby? You just let the baby be around the parents. And most of culture, behavior, is just picked up. It's absorbed. Well, the same. It never stops. For the rest of your life, you're going to still absorb either enough to push your income up or to push it down. And that really matters, okay? Yes, this is live for those of you. By the way, mindset about being cynical. About 20% of people in the world are highly cynical. People, and you can see it in my comments. There's certain people, this is probably also an IQ factor, but some people can't figure out that, you know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter Live is actually alive. And that's in the brain. Like there's almost no obstacle not in the brain. Besides, if you break your ankle, that's obviously not in the brain. But depression's obviously is in the mind, courage is in the mind, creativity, entrepreneurialism happens in the brain, outlook, whether you're willing to get up and try something or just lay in bed. So procrastination, drive, initiative, all this stuff. This is what makes people either powerful people in business or failures. It's between the mind, and a lot of people blame other things. So there's actually an interesting study, people who blame externalities, and this is number 2. To scale your business, the hardest part for entrepreneurs to come to a grip with is to stop blaming externalities. So a lot of times when I wasn't scaling, I was saying, well, so you got to stop this. I was saying, well, the reason I'm not scaling is because I'm new to the game, or it's 2008 and there's a recession going on, therefore you can't scale your business at this time, or I don't have access to capital in Silicon Valley like my friends do. This is rarely the weak link. Occasionally, but rarely. It's almost never externalities. So it's not the hand that you were dealt, is how you play the hand that you were dealt. In fact, if you watch like poker, world poker, these big tournaments on TV, you'll see it's not always the person who gets the best hand that ends up winning the whole thing. My friend Nam Lee, one of my business partners, he won the, what is it? The World Poker, blah, like the biggest World Series of Poker he won in 2009 or something like that, or 2010. And I've been around him. He's a master of, if you give him a bad hand, he knows how to bluff people, so he wins. Not every time, but statistically he wins enough that he's ranked in the top 20 or 30 cash players of all tournament players of all time by earnings. He's made like reported earnings like $9 million or something dollars like that. That's not even counting, cash games. So you gotta stop. It's not externalities. Now the third thing is you gotta mastermind more. Scaling is not about always learning a new skill. Mastermind/brainstorm. So many, man, like people think if I learn Facebook funnels, all of a sudden I'm gonna scale my business. Well, kind of, but not always. In fact, almost every entrepreneur I meet who's making 100 grand, they know the basics of Facebook funnels, Instagram funnels. They know how to do social media marketing, branding. They know how to build a Shopify site. They know the basics of dropshipping, e-commerce, customer care. They do know some stuff. So if you do it on so here's you. If we take your skill set, here's, let's say, the goal. When you hit here, you'll be making $10 million. So this is 10 million up here. So if you're making 100 grand, you probably have about 60% of the how-to skill knowledge that you still need more, but you got enough. But a lot of entrepreneurs, you got to have the other side too, which is networking, masterminding, brainstorming with other people. Most people's network is only like 10% potential. So that's why I said to scale your business, raise this up. Your masterminding, your networking, your brainstorming, who you know, who you meet, who you talk to on a daily basis. I literally talk almost every day. Today I've already talked to, let's see, a lawyer I talked to on a big business deal. I talked to a business partner who's built $1 billion business. We had about 30-minute conversation. Talked to one of the CEOs of my company. So they're running 8-figure business. So, and then I talked to a guy in Puerto Rico who's doing real estate investment in Puerto Rico. Talked to him for 10, 20 minutes. I talked to a guy who owns pot.com. He wanted to talk to me. They're doing a big launch on pot.com. So I had 5 conversations today, and the average business size of those 5 people is, average 10, $20 million, maybe $50 million if you average those 5. And that's what you got to do. You got to be having those conversations with those people. You got to be around them in person, on the phone, FaceTiming them, together at a dinner, stuff like that. This is how you scale. And I know people go, well, but I can't do it because I live in a little town in Iowa, or I live in Malaysia. Well, I have good news and bad news for you. The good news is it's a law of success. That means if you follow it, it works. The bad news means you can't give excuses. There is none. It's like lifting weights. You can't say, well, I have a hurt elbow, so I just want to have muscle and not ever have to lift weights. It doesn't work. Your body doesn't respond. If you have a hurt elbow, you'll probably shrink your muscle size if you can't work out. For one of my trainers got hurt. He tore a bicep, and he can't lift weights for 3 months, and his bicep shrunk. So it's a law of the universe that if your network shrinks, so does your income. So some of you got to travel more. Some of you might have to move. If you can't move permanently, you might have to travel. Once a month ain't a big deal. Now you might be broke, so it might be hard to travel, but what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do you get the money to travel so you can make more money, or do you have to come up with it the first time? That's the hard part. That's like the inception point. The inception point is the hard part. Once you got some momentum rolling, then once the momentum's rolling, it's a little bit easier to go. But a lot of you are at the inception point or inflection point. Your income is hitting, 6, let's say, your income, well, actually I should draw it this way. Most of the world's is pretty flat. Most people making between 40K and 80K. So this is the vast population. It's a pretty flat line. It's not going up that much. And then you'll see it starts to, a very small percentage of the population starts to go up here. At the top up here, you have Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos. But it's only this huge section of the population. The majority of the population is right there, 40 to 80. Very few people. Right here is 400,000. If you go on the IRS website, if you make over $400,000 on your tax return, adjusted gross income, or AGI or net income, you are in the 99.9 percentile of the entire planet. And then there's this teeny fraction here, between here and here, of people who make, $400,000 a day, $400,000 an hour. The most I've made is, I've made $1 million in an hour or something like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it for every hour, but I've done at least once. Maybe twice. Something like that. So for each of you, the real thing is, can you scale past right here? Some of you are here. Remember, this is net income, just to be clear. Because there's a lot of people you'll meet that are like, oh, I'm making $1 million in my business, but they're only netting like 80,000. So I'm just kind of talking about what you net, okay? So I hope that, I'm gonna take some questions. I'm gonna give you some practical things on how to build a network, but these are the 3 keys. You know, number 1, knowing the 5 people you spend the most time with, changing that social circle. Number 2, not blaming externalities. And number 3, right on the page before, which is masterminding, networking, brainstorming as much as you can. Let's see. Now, some specific kind of things that I'll just tell you to scale, like just some stuff just from my story. It was never a thing that actually, well, let me put it this way. Google Ads grew my income. I didn't know 2001, I never heard of Google Ads. Then one day I heard about it and I learned from it, from somebody. And all of a sudden my income went to 6 figures from like 0. Then in 2008, I learned about Facebook ads from somebody at a mastermind brainstorming session. Someone was like, Ty, I think you should do Facebook ads. And then I did it. So basically it goes in this order. You brainstorm, somebody else tells you something, and it leads to you catching a trend. Catching trends is what makes people wealthy. Elon Musk caught a trend with SpaceX. He caught one a long time ago with PayPal. Obviously Tesla, he caught one. Bill Gates caught a trend early. Warren Buffett started a kind of a hedge / mutual fund before those were even things. He did that in the 70s. So he caught a trend. You guys are gonna have to catch a trend. And I guess what I'm saying is it's hard to just catch trends by sitting in a chair and going, what's a trend, what's a trend, what's a trend? You can't. I like books, but even reading books isn't as good. If I walk in a room and there's 100 entrepreneurs and we're brainstorming, I'll just listen and I'll be like, boom, that's a trend I didn't think about. That's how you grow your income. Seriously. That is literally how you grow your income. Okay? All right. Someone said you got to hit the marketplace. Dustin said, Ty is changing lives. Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Are you going to drink that protein drink? Yes. Steroids? No. I don't think I look like a monster. If I was on steroids, I'd be a lot bigger. I've never taken anabolic steroids. I've messed with all kinds of, anything, but I've never done full-on bodybuilder. I'd be a lot bigger. Steroids makes you... I like to play basketball. I don't want to be quite that big. What else? Nick said that's not getting rich on a trend. I must have missed the rest of that conversation. Is there an economic crash? Jason said you getting fat. Okay. More cardio. I think he means more cardio. Carrido sounds like something Spanish. I won't read that comment. That's funny. You see that one on YouTube? That was funny. Somebody said, do these tactics work for African Americans? Again, that's an externality. Pretty much, it's an externality, meaning outside of your control, what ethnicity you are, where you live. You can change it a little bit where you live, but you might be stuck in a country it's hard for you to move right now, or you can't get a visa out. You can make money. I remember years ago, this guy who followed me was an Indian kid. He was like 19. He became an affiliate for American companies, did affiliate marketing. He was making like, I don't know, $30,000 net a month in India. Now I've been to India. $30,000 a month in India is like $300,000 a month in America because the cost of living is so much lower. So there he was taking the externality of being stuck in a country, India, that doesn't have the economic growth that other countries, well, it has a lot of growth, but doesn't have the overall GDP wealth that bigger countries have, America, Western Europe has. But he didn't care. He just bypassed the externality by selling into the United States. If you're African American, if you're a woman, if you think you're being discriminated against because that's your experience, you've been discriminated, you can either fight it head on, or I know people that'll just build like an Amazon drop shipping site. Nobody sees the owner. When you buy stuff on Amazon, half the time you're buying from an individual person, not always from an Amazon warehouse. But you never research and go, is this person African American? Like, there's probably a lot of Ku Klux Klan people buying stuff on Amazon from black people, and they don't even know it. So that's one way you can just bypass stuff. Liz was here. I think you guys saw this weekend if you follow my Snapchat. She was from a border town. She's Mexican. Her family, her dad, I think her dad or her mom was worked in a UPS warehouse, lower middle class. She dropped out of college, started doing a Pokemon website and a virtual currency website. This is before cryptocurrency, just selling, I don't know what it was, emojis or something. Started making $100,000 a month. Now she's on Amazon. She's selling $500,000 a month of houseware. She sells all kinds of kitchenware and stuff like that. She's netting, I think, about $100,000, $200,000 a month. Once again, that's like, does it matter if she's black, Mexican? No, because no one knows who they're buying from. So that's one way around it. If you can't beat it, you can just bypass it. You know the saying, you can't beat it, join it? I like the saying, if you can't beat it, bypass it. No one cares. My last name is Lopez, I don't know if it's held me back or whatever, if compared if my name was Johnson or something like that, or Cookman like Zach. See, Zach, you got it so easy because of your name.
White privilege, baby.
Zach back there said white privilege, baby. Man, I did my DNA. I'm a mix of everything. So race is going to disappear eventually. People are blending together. Ty, can you succeed without a mastermind? You know you can. Now, here's the thing about masterminds. You can make your own, which I started when I didn't have much money. I made my own little mastermind. I started attending other people's. I started paying to go to other people's. But if you have no money, you can make your own mastermind. If you know 15 people, 15 is a magic number, minimum. Invite 15 people over for dinner at your house. Say everybody bring a problem, financial problem, and a solution that you found that worked for you, and everybody just shares and brainstorms. You go around the room like in a circle. One person says, my biggest problem is I can't get my ads approved on Facebook. Then the other 14 people brainstorm on that. That's a mastermind brainstorming session. And you go around in a circle like that, and you do it for a couple hours, you walk away, you do it once a month. That will revolutionize every person here. Even if you're broke, that's the way to get unbroke. Humans learn from other humans, period. Humans learn from, a lot of people are like, Ty, I'm gonna figure it out on my own. You learn from other humans. If you're drowning in a pool, you can't pull yourself out by your own hair, right? You can't grab yourself and go, oh, I'm gonna pull myself out of the water, because you're in the water. You have to be on stable ground to be pulled out. So that's what I'm saying. If you're making this much money, that's the constraints of your own mind and your own business skill right there. How are you gonna pull yourself out? Yes, you can read some books. Yes, you can do this, but why not get other people to just pull you and raise you up? That's why I'm not a big fan of like taxing the rich too much, because the way it should, that's fine if you want to tax the hell out of the rich. I mean, the problem is, one, the rich figure out how to bypass the laws. Like Apple fucking just keeps $200 billion in Ireland at 10% tax, so you just lose all the cash. But secondly, what should really happen is rich people should pull up poorer people. That's the way, that's what you want. You don't want to pull people down. Everyone pulling the next group up. So if you're making 100 grand, you should be pulling up people who are making 60 grand, teaching them what you know. And you should be being pulled up by people making 200 grand. And that becomes, that's a win-win situation versus a constraining situation. So you can make your own mastermind at your own house. Do it once a month, first Friday of every month. I used to do that, have different events. That way everyone remembers it. Do it 12 times a year, invite 15 people. ideally of varying levels, as high as possible, business skill-wise. The other thing you can do is pay to join masterminds. There's a mastermind, Ryan Dice has one called War Room. He's in Austin, Texas. I think it's between $25,000 and $100,000 per year, but it's good because you're in a room with everybody who paid $25,000 to $100,000. It's like a country club. Beware of a mastermind that's $5,000 for 1 year. Then you're going to be with a whole bunch of people in a room that couldn't afford to go to War Room. Now, if you don't have the money, that's fine. Then you just make do with what you have. But if you got the money, don't be cheap. You get what you pay for. Do you want to be part of a country club that everybody, paid $3? So paying, there's also, let's see, Russell, who else has a mastermind? Maya. War Room. Lewis Howes, I just spoke at his mastermind. Maya? She's not here. Ben, what's another mastermind? There's Joe Polish has a famous one called the 25K Club. It's got 2 levels, 25,000 and 100,000. And he brings in Richard Branson and you're in a room with it's a good one. You got to be invited to that one. It's kind of hard to get in. I did a mastermind in 2015 and then I did it for a year, 60 people. And I gave them a guaranteed double your money in your business or I'll refund you what you paid to be in the mastermind. I just tried it as an experiment. 60 people, only 2 refunds. Pretty good. I had signed a contract with them. And so anyway, I had that closed for the last 2 years. I've just opened it up last month. I'll put a link to an application if you just want to apply. Now, don't apply for the mastermind this is not good if you're making $0, okay? We're not gonna let you in the mastermind. If you're making $0, but you've been successful in the past, but we have a minimum threshold. For all you beginners, I have plenty of other programs. This mastermind is my more advanced one. I'll put up a link if you just want to apply. It's just Tailopez. Oop. Well, that marker ain't good at all. These markers, man, this is a racket. These marker companies, literally, I think they make their markers die after being exposed to air for more than 30 seconds. Tailopez.com/mastermind. You can apply there. My team, I have the people that manage my mastermind, they'll call you. And in general, I only let people in the mastermind that I've met in person. But I decided this week, for 1 week only, less than a week, I'm going to let people in just who maybe haven't been able to meet me in person. Okay? Okay, what else? Max says Shopify dropshipping is the money trend. Shout out to Ty. Took me from making $0 dropout to $10,000 a month within 7 months through his programs. Oh, that's cool. Max. Someone on YouTube went from 0 to 10 grand. You should get in the mastermind. For those of you that have had really good success and you're doing well, you should join the mastermind. I do it 4 times a year at my house. I'm there. I bring in my business partners. Change your business. And for those of you who can't get in, you could do it on your own. You can try to get into Joe Polish's War Room. Ryan Dice one. Lewis Howe has one. Most of those are between 25 and 100,000. What else? Ty, how can I get to investors? Again, that's all networking. Here's what happened with investors. Raising capital, you basically need an introduction. So one reason I like a mastermind, I was at Lewis Howes. I was speaking at it, but I was there. There was 40 people there in the mastermind. It was over at in Santa Monica. And I meet all those people and I become friends with them. And then you can put out to your network, hey, I need to raise capital for my business. Does anybody have an introduction? And then people introduce. So a lot of stuff, you're trying to do it too much on your own. Build your social circle correctly, especially your entrepreneur social circle. Does drinking improve confidence? It depends. Liquid courage. Ty, are you in masterminds generally? Yes. My mastermind also, if you get access, if you are approved, you can apply here. If you're approved in the mastermind, we also have a private Facebook group where people are talking continually. And then we have the 4 events a year. Plus we do a couple like trips together. Okay. Ty, what do you think about multi-level marketing? I think that some people do well and some people don't. If you have sales skills, if you're somewhat of an extrovert, if you can manage people, if you're persuasive, those people tend to do well with multi-level. I think, a lot of people are anti-multi-level marketing. I'm not. I know people that are successful, and I also think it's a good starting ground to learn sales. Most multi-level marketing things you can get in for under $300. And people go, oh, it's a scam. People paid $300 and didn't make any money. Well, Azusa Pacific College is $40,000 a year, and you get an Egyptology degree that you can never use in your life. That's more of a scam than paying $300 to learn sales skills. Now, where people go wrong on multi-level marketing is where they go, I'm going to make 6 figures a month in my first year. Like, that doesn't happen. Usually. It's happened. If you have realistic expectations, you'll do a lot better. So I think I never really did a multi-level marketing thing. I think one time I almost got into one of them, and then I don't know what happened. I guess it was around when I was launching my other businesses, so I did other stuff. Mo says, how do you build multiple sources of income? You got to catch more trends, man. Catch more trends. Catch more trends. Like for me, always, I caught a trend. I caught YouTube ads before almost anybody. There was a few people doing YouTube ads, but no one did it on the scale that I did it. And now more people are doing it, but I was the first person to push it to the scale that it went to. No one was doing I did over 100 million views. There was on business stuff. No one was doing that. And caught that trend and go make an extra $100,000 a day. Well, that's literally catch that trend. We launched a supplement company, Lean 67, which is a vegan hemp-based protein shake. Obviously, that we're not the first person to catch that trend, but that's a relatively new trend. Like, not everybody's vegan. I'm not even vegan. We also have a animal-based protein too. So we got one. But I think it's good to cycle your diet. Like, I think it's good to be vegan. So I go through cycles where I'll go like, this month I'm going to be vegan. And then I'm not as a stickler as most people, because I think your body's made to cycle through stuff. That's how we evolved. Best businesses in India. Somebody said you literally have spelling errors on your website, Ty. Well, that's good news, because that means you can still make a hell of a lot of money with spelling mistakes. PayPal had the wrong, PayPal in their footer for 1 year had a misspelling on it, but they still made a couple $1 billion. See, a lot of you're too particular. You just don't go out and just go start, man. You overanalyze everything. This dude gonna take, by the time you spell check my whole damn website, you could have built your own website. You see? Use your brain, my friend. Why would you expend energy spell checking my website? You will get no benefit from it. A lot of people in this world are like birds that chirp. They just gotta chirp. But what I'm saying is, the only takeaway lesson, yes, we should fix the spelling errors, but we put out a lot of content and we're pushing it out fast. And does it matter if we miss a few spell things? I mean, it's better to have no spell checks. I mean, no spelling mistakes, but it's irrelevant in the long term. It's irrelevant in the long term. Some of you crossing every I and every T, but you only got this many letters. You only got this much money, but you're like focused on that. Make more. Don't be an overly perfectionist type person. On certain things, yes, if you are building a bridge, you need to be a perfectionist. All you engineers, when you're building when you're engineering the bridge, please be very precise. But business is not engineering for the most part, unless you're Tesla. It's just not. All right. Ty, where do you get products to drop ship? You can drop ship out of China, obviously, is a huge place. AliExpress, or you can do it, here in the US. You can do, I got friends that, again, overanalyzing. Just start drop shipping. I had a friend start drop shipping out of China, went from zero. Gabriel, he was in one of my classes, and he's making, I don't know, $1 million, $2 million a month from zero. It took him 18 months. And at first he was drop shipping from China, and then it was so slow, he eventually manufactures his own stuff in the United States. How much risk is acceptable? I like to take the least risk possible, but that doesn't mean you won't need courage. Because a lot of times what you think is risk isn't that risky, but it still takes courage. For example, a guy who's single, he sees a girl that's cute at Starbucks, walking up to that girl, there's not that much risk. She's not gonna, unless she, I don't know, shoot you in the face or something. But for the most part, if you walk up to a girl at a club or a bar, there's not much risk long term. But it does take courage, because it's an unpleasant feeling to be shot down. And that's how business is. People go, well, it's this huge risk. Well, you don't have to quit your job. Keep your day job, do something on Saturdays, or spend an hour after work working on your business. So you can minimize the risk, but it still takes courage, because all new things take a little bit of courage. The human brain is risk averse, is the word. Okay, we got 15 more minutes, then I got to go. Someone said, Ty, dab on haters. Is dabbing still a thing? I feel like we've gone through like 7 dances since dabbing. Sam, you don't know what dabbing is? Sam, how old are you?
Can't say on the left.
Aren't you? You're in your 20s, and you don't know what dabbing is. That is concerning.
I'm an old soul.
Sam said he's an old soul. Sam said, Pablo Escobar in Colombia, we don't see any pop culture. I make money dance. There's a lot of dances that have come out. What's that one? You ever seen that one with LeBron's kids doing that one dance? I forget what it's called, where it looks like they're like spazzing out.
What if they are epileptic and people post it thinking it's a dance?
Somebody said, Ty, how do you stack up to Gary Vee, Grant Cardone? Do you think they surpassed you? Guys, never think that way. There's no there's always someone surpasses you. Sometimes people go, who's better? Tailopez, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, all of us suck compared to Jeff Bezos. All of us combined, Jeff Bezos, worth 120 billion, got 500, he's got over half a trillion. Like, you always suck compared to somebody. People spend their whole time going, who's better? LeBron or Jordan? LeBron or Jordan? I'm like, get your fat ass off the couch, go play basketball yourself. That's the whole point of this, what I've been talking about. Instead of being an armchair analyst, who cares? Doesn't matter. You can't argue that. We'll never know. Unless you could time travel, put Jordan in the modern era, and see how he did. He wouldn't do too bad, I'll tell you that right now. I'm happy. Man, in general, don't try to be at the top either. It's better to be around, I'll tell you 2 reasons to be around people better than you. They're a bigger target. The tallest guy in World War II got shot in the head first. In business, you're the richest person, you're on the Forbes list, you're like right there, and like people are waiting for your downfall. It's better to be a little bit below the surface and just win at whatever it is you consider winning. Happiness, lifestyle. I care about lifestyle. So it's hard to compare me to Gary Vee, Grant Cardone. None of them have my lifestyle, and I don't have their lifestyle. I win for what I want, and they probably win for what they want. That's it. You can't count net worth. Net worth is a bullshit number. I think if you Google my net worth, some websites say my net worth is $1 million, $3 million or some weird number. I'm like, shit, I'm happy for that. That makes me less of a target. Don't ever make people think you're too rich, man. I would not want to be the richest man in the world. I feel like richest man in the world, you gotta always be worried about, especially with crypto now. I got a friend, a co-founder of Ethereum. Dude, he's serious concerns, these guys, not just him, about kidnapping. Because in crypto, you can kidnap somebody, transfer the money, and nobody can get it back. The FBI can't get it back, court can't get it back, bank can't get it back. So why do you want to be at the top? You don't want to be at the top, my friend. Okay. Somebody say Grant Cardone wants to be the richest guy in the universe. Well, good. I'm friends with Grant. Okay, I'll be able to be friends with the richest. Is he Thanos? I'm gonna text him right now. Grant, I heard you are the business Thanos. You now have the 6 orbs. What is it he puts in his hand in Avengers? It's like the 6 orbs of life or something. Infinity Stones. Grant. Oh, that'd be funny. Yes, who wants to be the Thanos of money? I would not want to be the Thanos of money. Thanos killed his own damn daughter or whatever.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Sorry. If you haven't seen that movie yet, you're out of touch. Okay, any other questions on scaling? Tailopez.com/mastermind. If you want to work with me for 1 year in person, I open up my house, my offices. We have an application process. You can fill it out here. Then you talk to someone on my team. We have different levels. So if you're wondering how the cost, we kind of tailor a plan to you. So don't apply if you have $3 in your bank account. I have other things you can do if you have $3. If you have $7 in your bank account, you can join MentorBox. Okay, that's like the Netflix of books and learning that I own, me and Alex own. So we got something for the poor people because I was poor. And we got something for the more advanced people because I've been more advanced. And I didn't want to, when you're advanced, you need advanced stuff. Somebody said, Ty literally just spoiled Infinity War. How did I spoil it? Oh, the daughter thing? It's not even really his daughter.
Another spoiler.
Another spoiler alert. Darth Vader is his father. I'm excited to see the Chewbacca thing. I mean, the Han Solo thing. Tailopez, Stephen Carson asks, oh shit, it disappeared.
Is that on YouTube?
No, it's here. It's just, man, these things come in fast. Ty, how do you feel about a product manufacturer making my retail products for me? Again, you usually start out drop shipping and eventually you manufacture your own. Ty, your gains in working out are looking good. Jamie says, good. So a female said good, and one other guy said, Ty, you look fat. Whenever you get cocky with social media, there'll be always someone to tear you down. I guess that's a good thing. Whenever you get a compliment, there's somebody ready to swoop in and be like, look at your gut.
It's like Kiefer Sutherland said, if you believe what they say about you up here, you have to believe what they say about you down here.
I like that. Did you learn that from that show your parents watch with him?
No,
Kiefer Sutherland? Oh.
told me.
Oh, Zach, that's right. You had a drink with Kiefer. Zach had a drink with Kiefer Sutherland one time. 6 drinks?
Yeah, man.
Or sex? Is that what you said? Oh, I thought I said you had a drink with Kiefer Sutherland, and Zach said sex.
No,
But he was speaking German for the number 6. Hey, I didn't know you knew German. Question, I have a lot of followers from India. Should I target them or stay in the US as a new business? I would target, MentorBox has a great following. We make good money in India. Don't sleep on these emerging markets. They call them the BRICS countries. Brazil, Russia, India, you have all Southeast Asia is huge, Vietnam, places like that. China, obviously, is a little tougher to go into China. Is there any significant difference between the trends in the US and Latin America? You know what? Some countries lead on certain things and lag on others. America is behind on certain things and leads on others. So every country, every region, South America will lead on certain trends and be behind on others. You can make money both ways, because one great business model is to take things that work in one country and bring it to your country. There's some of the wealthiest people in Germany. There's these three brothers. That's all they did. They copied eBay, an exact copy of it, and made a German version of eBay. They made I forget the other ones they made. They made a few of them, and they're multi-billionaires. I think they're worth $5 to $10 billion. The drink Red Bull came from Asia, and Mateschitz, the founder, was flying there. He drank it and was like, this is good. And he brought it back to Europe, and then he eventually took it everywhere in the world. Todd, do you have a protein shake? Yeah, you know, people do not get enough protein. You need if you, especially working out, for those of you who are older, you gotta, and younger, I mean, but if you're older, you start to lose muscle mass. Most people are eating about 100 grams of protein a day, which some scientists say is fine, but you talk to guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger, big people that actually put on muscle, you need at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. I know that's controversial. Some people have 1.5. We're launching later today. I'm going to be launching a new snack protein box company with good proteins. Most proteins suck. You go to like 7-Eleven or a gas station, all those proteins in there, there's almost always something wrong with them. They either taste nasty, not hot dogs, Zach. Zach, did you eat hot dogs with Kiefer Sutherland?
No.
Sex.
No phallic symbols going on with Kiefer Sutherland.
You're the one who brought up hot dogs, man. Courtney said, don't give anybody ideas. Zach, I don't want to give you ideas. Ty is launching a snack box. He 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 he. Okay. Yes. Brother, I love Zach. Zach loves to hear that, man. Zach loves to hear it. Somebody said steroids. I feel like I don't look that, do I? I guess that's a compliment. I definitely don't look big enough to be on steroids, man. Tyree's saying Quest bars aren't good. You know the thing about, I know the founder of Quest Bar, we did a cool video together. He's an awesome guy. Some people like Quest and some don't. And that's the nature of the market. So there's always space for other flavors and tastes. Quest bars are pretty good. My brother loves them. I told him the first time I met him, I was like, you're a great businessman. You build an insanely awesome business. I don't really like how Quest bars taste. He wasn't offended. He's a nice guy. He's like, oh, okay. We went to a Laker game together. So, huge marketplace. Protein, vegan, keto. A lot of people, some of you are keto. And I like to rotate my proteins around. So have grass-fed whey, have hemp protein. We have some bone marrow protein and pea protein, all these different ones. Egg powder, that's another protein I want to launch, another business. Okay. Any last, we're about done. I got to go. Should I partner with investors or borrow only? In general, I don't think you should borrow money on new ideas. I think it's dangerous. So raise capital more from equity. If you already have an existing business with steady cash flow, that is much safer to raise, to do debt. So debt works. I mean, Walmart was built with debt. Sam Walton became the richest man in the world, built Walmart. It was almost all debt. He was in debt till he was 60 years old, but it was strategic, real estate-based debt. Ty, thoughts on Jake Paul? He was over here. Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they're hardworking people. They're good business people. They're monster influencers. You know what? People always ask me questions on controversial stuff. In general, I'm not like a tabloid. If you're around me, I'm not like a tabloid. So I'm not a big gossiper. In general, if you nitpick any person, from Elon Musk, Mother Teresa, the President of the United States in any era, you always come up with a laundry list of annoying things that you don't like and a list of good things. And focus on yourself is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. We live in a world, like so many people were into the royal wedding, which is great. If you're into weddings, you watch it. I guess it's like a fairy tale. You think I woke up early to watch the damn royal wedding? Oh my God. There's so many more. And again, not making fun. I'm just telling you my perspective. There's nothing appealing about the royal wedding to me. I don't give, it is irrelevant. So much of our lives is focused on externals. And people use it as a drug, as a way to delude themselves that their life is fine. Focus on your own family, your own life, the responsibilities you have. Maximize that out. Maximize your health, your body, maximize your wealth, maximize your love, friends, family, romance, and maximize your happiness. Get those four right. Let other people try to figure out what the Kardashians' baby's name is. Who cares? It's a baby. You know? Why is this front page? The media is somewhat stupid. They're not really stupid. They're just driven by ratings. They're like everybody. Media tries to make fun of capitalism, but they're the most capitalistic people in the world because, like everybody, we got to make money. We got to feed ourselves. So, yeah. I hope a lot of you will apply here. Tailopez.com/mastermind. I got this open. It's now less than a week. Then the only way you can get in the mastermind is if I meet you in person. So this is a huge opportunity. I'd love to get 50 people in this week. That's my goal. Because we already have 100 people that I know that came in person. So, and then we're going to close, we're going to close the applications for anybody who's not with me. So, okay? Ty, last question. If you were to read one book over and over, what book would it be? One of the best books, Dr. David Buss's Evolutionary Psychology is good. Another one, Will Durant, if you want to read over and over, because he has a lot of volume to read, 10,000 pages. Sigmund Freud, Civilization, Its Discontents, I read over and over. It's an insane book. The Selfish Gene is an amazing book. Business, read all the books like Good to Great by Jim Collins, one of the best business people. Peter Drucker, of course, extremely powerful. Get a book that's a compilation of all the Berkshire Hathaway annual letters. Warren Buffett, every year for about 40 years, has been writing an annual letter. Read his old annual letters. You'll learn more about business in there than you will in almost any business school if you actually apply the stuff. Another good book, Salt, Sugar, Fat, is a great book on the food system in America. Another author that I like is Nassim Taleb, so you can read, he has a whole bunch about what's called the black swan, probabilities, understanding life. Steven Johnson, where good ideas come from, about creativity. Steven Johnson is one of the greatest writers alive right now. So good, and it's not only is it good, but it's entertaining. Best way to pitch your business to a potential client: only sell people what they already want. You don't change adults. You'll learn that. So have a product that matches what they already wanted. It's basically how it goes. It's like Tinder. Tinder, people are swiping through for what they already want. If they don't find you attractive, they're not magically going to go, you know what? I just woke up. Now, women sometimes find men attractive later. I've never met a man who's been like, met this girl, wasn't attracted to her at all. 1 month later, I was madly in love with her. Maybe it happens, but it's so rare that you wouldn't want to build a business model around that. You get customers, you try to sell them what they don't want. Every 100 clients buys from you, but you'll go broke. So what I like to do, have enough product portfolio that you can appeal to every, I call them concentric circles, different types of customers. Here's your core customer, but you have some products for these people, these people, these people, and then you can reach more and more people versus selling them what they don't want. You can't sell to the unwilling. All right, thank you. Apply here. You got less than a week. Tailopez.com/mastermind.